episode of Let's Talk Natural Medicine is brought to you by Bioglan, proud platinum partners of ATMS. For over 40 years, Bioglan has delivered innovative, high-quality vitamins, supplements and superfoods, helping Australians live healthier lives. Find Bioglan at your local pharmacy today. Welcome back to Let's Talk Natural Medicine, brought to you by the Australian Traditional Medicine Society. I'm your host, Natalie Hume, and today we're diving into a topic that might surprise you: how something as simple as breathing can have a profound impact on sleep and even reduce snoring. Here's an interesting fact. Did you know that over 40% of adults snore? And for many, the root cause is improper breathing. And today we're going to explore this more with how Buteyko breathing, a simple yet powerful technique, can help improve sleep quality and reduce snoring. And joining us is Jean Jarrett. Jean is a naturopath and certified Buteyko breathing specialist. Thank you, Jean, for joining us today.
Hi, Natalie. Thanks so much for having me on. I'm really looking forward to sharing how Buteyko breathing can help our listeners improve their health and well-being.
Can't wait. So, Jean, let's get started with the basics. What exactly is Buteyko breathing and how does it differ from other breathing techniques as well?
Sure, Natalie. So Buteyko breathing is a method that was developed by a Ukrainian doctor, Konstantin Buteyko, in the 1950s. So he was looking for a solution for his patients who were struggling with asthma and other chronic respiratory conditions. And his solutions centered around controlled, slow breathing techniques with an emphasis on both nasal breathing and diaphragmatic breathing. So basically breathing more calmly and slowly and breathing through our nose. So what he realized was that this way of breathing ensured a correct balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide levels. And what he did was he applied these breathing techniques to his patients, and amazingly, he noticed a measurable improvement in their symptoms. So Buteyko breathing differs from other breathing practices. Many breathing practices focus on taking deep or big breaths or even rapid breathing. So these are things like our deep breathing techniques that we would use in yoga, or the energizing and fast-paced methods championed by Wim Hof, the Iceman. So these styles aren't wrong at all. They're just a bit different to Buteyko and they serve a different purpose. So what I love about Buteyko breathing is how seamlessly it fits into everyday life. It's subtle, yet really powerful, teaching us how to connect with the natural rhythm of our breath. I do love exploring all different types of breathing techniques, and each one offers something unique. So breathing is such a fascinating and often overlooked aspect of our health. It's something that we do every moment of every day, automatically, without a second thought. But when we take the time to truly connect with our breath, it opens up a whole new insight into how essential it is for our health and well-being. The breath is such a powerful tool. So Buteyko in particular focuses on gentle, soft and controlled breath holds. So this aims to slow our breathing rate. So many of us overbreathe, they breathe too fast. And this can actually lower the amount of carbon dioxide we have in our blood, and this impacts oxygen as well. So this is where we see overbreathing in clinic. I don't know if you even notice it. A lot of people are overbreathing. So overbreathing leads to increase in stress, it leads to an increase in cortisol, it can impact blood pressure, and it leads to poor lung capacity. It can actually even exacerbate asthma symptoms. So essentially Buteyko breathing helps to retrain and correct dysfunctional breathing patterns and bringing breathing back into balance. It's such a transformative approach. It can really make a big shift for people struggling with respiratory conditions.
That sounds amazing. And how did you first come across Buteyko breathing? What drew you to it as a method for improving health for your patients?
So back in 2018, I was in clinic and I was seeing a lot of patients with asthma, both kids and adults. And while I was able to bring them a lot of relief for their respiratory conditions with our wonderful naturopathic tools that we have, I started to notice a really common pattern amongst these patients. They all had dysfunctional breathing. So whether that was something like slow, fast breathing, whether that was mouth breathing, whether it was allergies that was blocking their nose so they weren't able to breathe through their nose properly. And I felt this was a light bulb moment. It was like, okay, so this is a common factor with all of these clients. And on top of that, many of these were also struggling with anxiety and also sleep issues. So I felt like I'd uncovered a missing link in their treatment. So I dove into the research and looking at the connection between our breathing and asthma. And that's when I discovered Buteyko breathing. So in 2019, I was inspired to complete the practitioner training with Patrick McEwen from the Buteyko Institute. And I started to use the Buteyko breathing practice for myself. I started teaching all of my family, and when I felt comfortable with it, I started to incorporate it into my clients' treatment plans. And what I quickly realised was that Buteyko wasn't just something to help with asthma, it was helping with such a wide range of health issues. It was helpful for clients struggling with anxiety, with sleep disorders, with snoring, as you mentioned, digestive issues, also sinus infections, children with ADHD, and more recently, clients with long COVID. So it is, as you can see, such a powerful and versatile tool for all of my clients.
That's amazing. And it does really seem like it can help so many and benefit so many. But let's talk a little bit about how the Buteyko breathing is so important for sleep quality, and how can improper breathing contribute to issues like snoring, or maybe they're feeling exhausted when they wake up in the morning as well.
Yes, not getting a deep quality sleep. It's so important, isn't it? So many of my clients are struggling with sleep. Now, sometimes they're just not getting enough hours of sleep, but more often than not, it's the quality of sleep that they're not getting. And breathing plays a big role in that. So when we breathe too rapidly or through our mouth during sleep, this can disrupt our sleep cycle, and it can lead to issues like sleep apnea, restless sleep, and even night asthma. And because proper breathing helps to regulate our balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the body, it directly impacts our quality of sleep. So breathing through your nose, as Buteyko recommends, allows you to breathe in a way that supports relaxation, supports our nervous system, and allows us to fall into a deep and restorative sleep.
Okay, so you're talking about breathing through your nose. Maybe you can guide us through the basics of Buteyko breathing technique. What are the key steps and principles that maybe our listeners can try at home as well?
So the first one, Natalie, is nasal breathing only. That's what our nose was designed for. And we were designed to breathe through our nose. So we always breathe through our nose, both day and night. Now, some people can't do that at the moment, so we need to work on getting that relieved so they can start breathing through their nose, and then we can retrain them to do nasal breathing. So when we breathe through our nose, it actually filters the air, it warms the air, and it humidifies the air. And that is important for maintaining optimal carbon dioxide levels. Mouth breathing is discouraged as it can lead to overbreathing and other health issues, including dental problems. The second principle of Buteyko is reducing overbreathing. So as I mentioned before, many people are breathing too much air in, and this disrupts their oxygen delivery in the tissues. Buteyko breathing focuses on light, gentle, and slow breathing to improve that oxygen uptake. Slowing down your breath can be really beneficial. So our optimal breathing patterns should include 6 breaths per minute, and most people are taking more around 10 to 12. The next principle of Buteyko is optimizing carbon dioxide levels. So carbon dioxide, we think of it as a waste product as we breathe out, but it's actually essential for the release of hemoglobin into our cells. So by breathing less, the body retains more carbon dioxide, promoting better cellular oxygenation. And then the next tip is focusing on diaphragmatic breathing. So when we engage our diaphragm when we breathe, and not our chest and our neck muscles, we need to engage our diaphragm. This supports relaxation and it helps with efficient oxygen exchange. And when we breathe into our diaphragm, it also supports our digestion, our nervous system, and our lymphatic system. So it's really important. And finally, it's calm and controlled breathing. So breathing should feel effortless, almost like you're sipping air. The goal is to retrain the body to breathe naturally and quietly, even under stress. So in the Buteyko breathing program, there's 8 basic exercises. And with these exercises in clinic, I adapt those exercises to my clients' need and where they're at the moment. And then we can measure their progress.
This episode of Let's Talk Natural Medicine is brought to you by Bioglan, proud platinum partners of ATMS. Bioglan is your go-to pharmacy-only provider of high-quality vitamins, supplements, and superfoods. Their commitment to innovation and unique formulations has earned them a reputation for excellence in supporting health and wellness. Together, we're building a stronger, healthier future for natural medicine. Thank you, Bioglan, for your partnership and support. So can you maybe give me a little tip on what I could start to do with right now? Can you show me something or get me to do a little bit of Buteyko breathing?
I'd like to get you to do an exercise, Natalie. So one of the great things about Buteyko is measurable. So we can, I as a practitioner can see whether my clients are doing their homework, and the clients themselves can see the progress. So it's a really useful little tip. I think, we all like to be able to measure our progress. So what I'd like you to do today, Natalie, is breathe. I'm going to talk you through it. You're going to breathe in through the nose. You're going to breathe out through the nose, and then you're going to hold your breath. And you're going to hold on the out breath. Okay.
So do I do a bigger breath in or no? Just normal?
Just a gentle breath in through the nose, nice and gentle. Yes. A gentle breath out through the nose, and then I want you to hold your nose and hold your breath, and I am going to time you.
All right, tell me. I'll start now. I'll do my breath in.
Breathing in, breathing out. Hold your nose, and then when you let go, I know you need to breathe, and really try and hold your breath for as long as you can. You're doing well. You're doing really well. Some people can't even do it for 10 seconds. Very good. Up to 22 seconds. That's great. You're obviously a nose breather. Okay, 20 seconds.
Well, that was a fun exercise.
So you were able to hold your breath for 27 seconds on the out breath. Okay. So for optimal breathing, we want it to be between 20 and 40 seconds.
Right.
So you're doing pretty well.
Room for improvement, though.
Absolutely room for improvement. So if you were to practice some Buteyko breathing every day, you would see that score improve by 1 to 2 seconds each week.
Okay, excellent.
When you improve that score, you'll find you'll be feeling fitter. And if somebody has any respiratory issues, they'll find that they're experiencing less symptoms.
Okay, fantastic. Now I'm going to put that into practice. So now for a bit of a fact and fiction segment, I'm going to share a common myth about snoring and breathing. And can you let us know if it's fact or fiction? So snoring is just a harmless habit.
Look, this is definitely fiction. Look, sometimes, occasionally, people might have some snoring due to a neck injury, having a cold, or maybe they're sleeping on a different pillow than usual. But it is important that we don't snore. While occasional snoring, as I mentioned, can be harmless and there might be a reason for it, chronic or loud snoring can be a sign of underlying health issues. It often indicates an obstructive airflow during sleep, which may be caused by nasal congestion, by allergies, or even poor sleeping posture. More importantly, snoring is one of the hallmark symptoms of sleep apnea, a condition where breathing repeatedly stops and starts during sleep. And sleep apnea can lead to serious health conditions, including high blood pressure, heart disease, also fatigue, and even weight gain. So additionally, snoring can disrupt the quality of sleep for both the snorer and their partner, if they have one, and it can lead to things like daytime fatigue, irritability, and decreased concentration. And for children, if they're not getting a good quality deep sleep, this can impact their growth and development. So if someone snores regularly, it's definitely worth consulting with a healthcare practitioner to rule out any potential problems. And by addressing the root cause, such as improving nasal breathing, they can make a significant difference.
Amazing. And if we've got our listeners here and they're really wanting to try Buteyko breathing to improve their sleep, reduce snoring, improve their overall quality of health, like what you just listed there, what are the initial steps that you would suggest to get started?
Look, if you're interested in understanding about how important our breath is, I'll often direct my clients to read James Nestor's book called Breath. That's a really accessible look at the research around breathing, and he does it in a really entertaining and humorous way. It's very accessible, and it really highlights the importance of breathing. The other thing is you can look at having some Buteyko breathing. There's lots of Buteyko breathing practitioners in Australia, so you can definitely look at having some Buteyko breathing lessons. And also, Natalie, I've written a great blog, which you'll have, I suspect, on the website, which
we will.
Which everyone can have a look at too. There's some great resources.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your expertise. Such a fascinating topic. I certainly have learned a lot today, and I'm going to be putting some of this into practice as well.
Thank you, Natalie. I hope this really encourages all the listeners to explore Buteyko breathing and help with their overall health and well-being, as well as that sleep and snoring.
Yes, maybe we'll be all asking our partners, do we snore now after this as well?
Absolutely.
Oh, and thank you all to our listeners for joining us today for this episode of Let's Talk Natural Medicine. If you're looking for a qualified natural medicine practitioner, please visit atms.com.au and click on Find a Practitioner. And don't forget to sign up to our Friends of Natural Medicine newsletter for more tips, including a blog on Buteyko breathing, lots of other things we'll be sharing, and healthy recipes as well. So here's a few quick wins for better breathing and better quality sleep. Try a few minutes of nasal breathing exercises before bed. Focus on reducing mouth breathing and practice gentle, slow breathing throughout the day, especially before meals, to improve your digestion as well. Until next time, take care and stay naturally well. Love what you heard today? Then hit the follow button to stay tuned for more deep dives into holistic health and wellness. If you're feeling the positive vibes, leave us a 5-star review. It makes a huge difference in spreading the message of natural medicine far and wide.